When my good friend Anthony Gargano told me that he could make our spring training trip better, I didn't know what he meant. But what he meant was that he had a friend. Is that your phone? Yeah, we found it. What he meant was he knew Charlie, one of my idols, a legend in Philadelphia, and that's all I can say. I just want to thank you so much for being here today. And Charlie, say whatever you want, my friend.
Thank you. I'm proud to be here today. I'm happy to be here, and I think I've met everyone. And I want to thank you for being fans, first of all. That's what baseball is about. And you people love the game of baseball, and I hope you have a great time while you're here. And I'm up here to answer questions. I'm not up here to tell you all about me, because I want you to have a chance to ask me questions and what I think about things or anything about baseball. And so let's get it started.
Woo! Love you, Charlie.
Charlie.
Charlie, how do you feel about the fans of the ship?
How do you feel about the designated hitter?
When I was a hitting coach in the American League, I loved the DH coach because at that time we had some big time hitters, and so. But when I started managing in the National League, I liked the strategy of the game better, and it makes you use more players, and it forces you to take pitchers out of the game that can that actually can have something to do with the decision in the game or whoever wins. But at the same time, the DH is going to add to the National League what I see it adding. It's going to add more excitement, because more than likely it's going to be a guy that can hit the ball out of the yard, and that's what people love nowadays. They love the home run, and I think if the National League was ever ready for the DH, I think it's now. But I'd rather manage the other way. Whatever make me get to
That 2018, they like to party.
The 2018, I think the 2018 was the fans' team. I think, actually, I've said it over and over again. I think our team and the characters on our team and how we played the game and everything is what won our fans over and back to the ballpark. And I think the fans played a huge role in it. I think they played a bigger role in it than they'll ever know, because in our ballpark, they brought a tremendous amount of excitement and electricity.
Yep.
You know, and they really cheered for our team, and we had the greatest competitors I ever been around in a game. This is my 60th season, and those Phillies teams for about 5-6 years there, we had everything about it was great. The organization gave us help when we needed it, and basically, we were a team, but we was Philadelphia town was definitely the big part in our ball club. And I think today is what proves that too.
What do you think our chances are this year?
Huh?
What do you think our chances are this year?
Our chances this year, I feel like we're going to be good in our division. I think our division is going to be tough. I think it's going to be, close all the way. I think we've added more offense. Swarber's definitely going to help us. But we've added more offense. We got to get better on defense. It doesn't matter if we got the same players that we had or whatever. We still have to get better. We've got to put more time into our defense. And we've got starting pitching. Our starting pitcher on paper is good, but it has to pitch during the season and stay healthy. It's hard to keep players healthy anymore, and it's and that really makes a difference. People used to always tell me, when you gonna give Utley a day off? When you gonna give Howard a day off? I was a guy that I think when you sign a contract for big money and things like that, you sign on to play. I think you sign on to play every day, but also too, I always had a mindset because we had everyday players, I think everyday players is what made us good. But at the same time, I think it made our bench competitive and our minor leagues competitive. In order, you can beat somebody out on my team. I don't think fans ever realize that. Really, like we used to have meetings there, like in spring training, and our general manager, he'd get up in front of somebody and say, "We pretty much set for this year, blah blah blah," and I come right behind him and I'd say, "We're not set." And I said, "I want you to play as hard as you can. I want to see what you can do, and I want you to try to beat these guys out." I said, "That's the name of the game," and that was kind of the things that our team took on. We played every day to win that game, and last night's game is behind us. Whatever we did last night, and we did not. And when somebody tells me, "Is my closer ready?" or "Are you going to save your closer?" No, we're not going to save nobody. And one of the worst things I hate is when I hear someone say, "Oh, we don't need him now. We need him in September." We're not going to get to September. Hey, if we're paying somebody $20 million or $30 million, and he can't play or he can't pitch or something, it's hard for us to get to September. Yeah. So you always remember that. That's
Absolutely.
All right. Who else?
Charlie, have you ever been compared to Dallas Green? Obviously, Dallas Green winning the first World Series for the Philadelphia Phillies. Has anyone ever compared you to that same amazing run you had in 2008?
I don't. Something I don't keep up with that. I mean, I hear. I knew Dallas Green, and I knew that he was a good manager, and he did a heck of a job, things like that. But really, I'm not the kind of guy. I don't think I was ever in a circle. I only had one interview to be a manager, and things like that. And people talk about contracts. I managed 10 years in the minor leagues, and most of that was 1-year deals, and I didn't want 2 years or 3 years because I wanted to do my job, and if I did it, then I might want to go somewhere else, and they might not want me. And that's who I was, and I think I was different in Philadelphia, but I'm the same guy that I was all through baseball. I want to manage my own team, and I got to do that for quite a while. But the more success we had, the more problems I had. And people tell me what to do. So basically, that's why I'm sitting here talking to you today. They used to tell me that do this, do that, and I always used to hear too. Well, if you do what they say, pretty soon you're gonna be sitting in the stands. I didn't do what that they told me to do, but anyway, I was sitting in the stands anyway now. So.
Double's back.
Double, huh?
What was it like coaching J-Ro?
J-Ro?
I used to watch the game from Charlie.
Yeah.
And he shadowed you in the donut.
I think Jimmy Rollins is probably one of the underrated player in Philly history. I mean that, and the reason is you got to get to know who he is, and he's easy to handle. He's not hard to handle. And every time I used to have to jump on him, he never ever said anything back, and he'd come in my office the next day, and he'd apologize, and he would want to be the best player he possibly could be. And he was colorful, had a lot of energy, and he was a tremendous player. He knocked in a lot of runs for a leadoff hitter. He produced a lot of runs in our lineup, and he was a big time player. He was a great defensive player. His defense is underrated because of the fact that actually he had a great arm. If you watch the game closely, he took most all of our throws from the outfield as a cutoff man, and he was a character who'd stand by him. He would swing at a 3-1 pitch, and I think you guys know it because you get mad at him. And he'd sky a little fly ball up in the center field, and on a 3-1 pitch, and he'd come back, and he's standing right there beside him. I mean, what you talking about? And he's running his mouth, and he's going, "Yeah, I just missed that, Charlie. I had a pretty good approach at that ball. I just missed it, Charlie." And actually, I'm not hearing anything he's saying. I'm just saying, "Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy." And finally, like he thinks I agreed with him, so he walks on away. I didn't say nothing to him.
Charlie, do you have an opinion about Ben Simmons with the Sixers?
The only thing, you know what? I would love to play with Ben Simmons if I was a basketball player because he don't like to shoot, so I'd take a shot.
How did you?
Stott's got a chance. Stott's definitely got a chance. Through the minor leagues last year, Stott was our most consistent hitter, and you got to watch him. And the more I saw him last year, he kind of grew on me, and he's got talent. He's got a chance to be a real good hitter. It puts me in the mind of Palmeiro as far as the swing goes. He's got a nice, easy swing, and he covers the plate good. He works the count, and he gets good balls to hit. He's got a chance to be on our teams. I'm anxious to see how good he does at the major league level as far as defense, because the ball speeds up on him. The game gets faster, and like I think that in spring training, and if you watch the games, I think it's something to look for. I can see how he can make shortstop position look. I think at Ohapi's going to be a good big league player. I don't know when. Probably I would say, down the road they might. Right now they probably think he might need more experience or something. But it wouldn't surprise me if he made our team. Really, when I look at someone like that, to me, if I give you enough at bats, spring training counts.
Who was your favorite first baseman you ever coached for Philly?
Favorite food. Let me tell you something.
This is on tape too.
Hey, listen, I nicknamed Ryan Howard the Big Piece. I nicknamed Jimmy Tomey the Tominator. And when I think of him, someone told me about a month ago, they said, and I'll ask you, who hit the most between Ryan Howard and Tomey, them playing for me, who hit the most home runs?
Tom.
Definitely Tommy.
Ryan Howard hit 309 and Tomey hit 308. But now listen, Tomey was with me. He was with me for about 15 years, and Tomey was. I don't like to say it. If he was here, he wouldn't want me to say it. But Jimmy, he was a green kid. I used to tell him, I said, son, if I put you in the ground, you'd grow. But at the same time, like I was with him a long time. But Ryan Howard, for about 4 or 5 years, if you go back and you look at his stats, and when people always want to compare him to anybody in baseball because he had for 4 years he had the greatest stats. He was knocking in 140 runs a year. So therefore, he was doing, like when you think about it, he was doing what 2 players do.
How about Chase being the spark plug of your team?
Who?
Chase.
I don't even have to talk to Chase. All I got to do is look at him. Chase is who he is. Chase is the most prepared player I've ever been around. Chase is an old school player. He plays hard. He ran hard, and I think the fans' love for him proved what kind of player that he is. Really, he did not have. People asked me if he was a leader on our team. He was a silent leader, and he did not have to go talk to somebody or say anything to anyone. All he had to do was stare at them, and they like that would tell you what he thought. So, yeah, he was definitely he's a great player, great competitor, and a very smart individual. Loved to play.
He had the greatest speech of the parade.
Yeah, and he loved. I'll tell you something else too. He loved playing in Philadelphia.
Was there any elite base stealers anymore, like in the 70s and 80s, where you had guys getting over 100 bases?
That's because that they see when we used to put our offense together. I wanted all the ways that we could possibly manufacture runs to have a complete offense, and that's why I hired Davey Lopes. I played in the big leagues a little while with Davey Lopes, and Davey Lopes was one of the best first base coaches, but he was the best base stealer teacher that I've ever been around, and he definitely played a big role in our success. And if you stop and think, I think sometimes people don't realize how good a team we actually had, because if you look at the phrase of offense, we could do everything you wanted on offense. We could beat you in small ball. We could beat you with a home run. We can beat you with hits. We can beat you. Actually, like the bottom of our lineup and our pitchers did a pretty good job of bunting. But guys like Victorino, Rollins, Utley, Bourne, and all these guys, smaller guys we had, they could all bunt. Like we wanted to. I think people forgot about that because we mostly would have a high-powered offense. I'm an offensive manager. I believe in offense. I think offense sets up everything on a team. People say, well, we got pitching, we got defense. That goes together. But when you have a big offense, you can have the pitching staff feels like that they can go out there and they can give up some runs and stay in the game. And it brings in life. It brings life to the yard because you score runs. And when you're playing good on offense, you run better, you throw better, you play defense better, and the fans love it. And then pitching comes very important. I think when you got a big offense, you can hit your way into a playoff. But I think once you get there, you better have 3 good starters and a couple good relievers.
That home run Victorino hit in Dodger Stadium. I mean, How did that weigh on you?
Yeah, it's good. I like the one he hit against CC Sabathia pretty good too. Grand Slam. I saw him all. I remember. What's that?
Odubel Herrera.
Yeah. Odubel? I love Odubel. Let me tell you something. Odubel is one of the most misunderstood persons that I've ever been around. I absolutely don't think so. He is one of he's a guy that I like to spend time with every day and talk to him, because I don't think nobody ever taught him how to play right or actually know about what a professional is really about. I love Odubel. I don't like his antics, but at the same time too, nowadays his antics should be. If I look at him, it's hard to go over and get on him when everybody else does the same thing that he does. And so therefore, it makes it different. But when you think he knows he made a mistake, and he hears it every day, but at the same time, he is a variable. Believe me, he's a solid guy, and he's got a lot of laughter to him. And he really changed since his problem, what happened. And also, too, he's grown up a lot. And I hope this year he has a big year, and I'll be surprised if he don't.
And Charlie, they gave 4 other outfielders a chance to win the position, and they couldn't win it. So, Odubel is your center field.
If you put him out there right now, and the outfielders have got on the team, and you say, let's see who can win it, he'll win it again.
Exactly.
Do you think Alex Bone can come around?
I think I've seen a lot of players like Bond come to the big leagues, and if you guys think about it, you probably have 2 seats on. But Mike Smith was one of them. You can come, just because you come to the big leagues. Hey, listen to this. One of the biggest things about being a big league player. Hey, just because that I didn't get no hits today doesn't mean I'm not going to get any tomorrow. But because I got hits yesterday, that doesn't mean I'm going to get any today. And because I hit last year, it doesn't mean I'm going to hit next year. It's a day-to-day process. It's an everyday process, and you got to try to master your skills. I'm an excellence over success. Every day you try to master your game, and also I'm talking about defense, offense, and pitching and everything. You try to master your game. That's why we practice and things like that. You have to be really dedicated, and that's where I look at Chase Utley. I admire him being so dedicated. But you got to master your game. You will never, ever master it. But it will get better because you worked at what you want to do. And when you say, for instance, if I'm hitting, I work every day to correct flaws that's in my swing or weaknesses that I got and things like that. And therefore, you always got to be focused on the game. And And that's one thing. That's one thing that Philadelphia you fans are good for. And that always remember, sometimes when you're getting on a player, you're making him focus on the game because he does not like that.
Charlie, thoughts on Roy Halladay?
Holiday, you know what? Roy Halladay, when we first got him, I used to come to the ballpark, and I used to get there like 5 o'clock. Nobody got there before me, and Halladay was there the first day. He came to spring training. He was there waiting on me. It made me mad, really, because I do like to sleep every now and then. And I'd go in there and watch him work out, and the weight that he would press and everything, and also squats and things like that. I used to think, man, he's got to quit that, or he's going to get hurt. But now I want to tell you something. He was best guy I ever been around to get in solid shape. And when he was in shape, like it helped him. He was smart. He was strong. He always thought he was stronger than a hitter, better. He said, I can throw this ball right by him and everything like that, or I can trick him or whatever. He was good at what he did. The biggest problem was when he got hurt and he started, and got a little older, like he might not look like it, but he was so going, his mind was going so fast in the game that he could not be that finesse pitcher, like to make pitches to get away with it. And who he was who he had to be. And when we started cutting down on his workouts, like his conditioning, his routine and stuff, I think it played a little part in his mind. Like I was totally against that, and so was he. But at the same time, that's what we did.
What about the Kangaroo? Is his swing going to get straightened out?
He's in spring training. I saw him hitting yesterday. He was swinging okay. I mean, he was working. He was hitting some line drives off the screen in the batting cage, things like that. Kingery was a tremendous player through the minor leagues. Last year he was in the minor leagues. He went to AA and AAA. He was a very good-looking player. I compared him to Turner on a report that I sent in. Turner, the guy who plays in Washington, was a shortstop with the Dodgers. I compared him with him. Well, he come to spring training and he was doing real good. We signed him to a big deal, and then he changed his batting stance and he started swinging straight up. And the pitchers started finding ways of getting him out, and he started really worrying about it. Hopefully, he's got talent. He has a chance to be a good player because I saw him do it once. I mean, it's still in there. Depends on how he can recover.
Charlie, do you still see your hitting philosophies being used? Because they were legendary. You got to admit that. Come on.
I think sometimes I always complain to Missy, my wife, about I'll tell somebody something and they'll do it, and some other coach take credit for it, and I get mad at it. Really, I mean that. I'm being honest. Like I look, and so therefore, I would like to be more. I would like to be able to be more involved in the teaching part of hitting, really, because I think I definitely have something to offer. But at the same time, too, the game is changing, and I don't have to tell you when you get 78 years old and they look at you, they think that you're old and you're not very smart. Father Time caught up with you and all that. I disagree with that, but at the same time, I mean people will always make an excuse. Today when I'm talking, I'm going to tell you something. I'll be very honest with you. I love baseball. I've been in baseball all of my life. I love baseball. But there's parts about it that I absolutely hate. And really. And I don't think it's not only baseball, it's probably the United States and the system that we have has a lot to do with baseball, whether you realize it or not. And I'm not being politics either because I know nothing about politics.
Charlie, I used to watch TV and just wait for you to charge the mound. Because when you arrived at the point of contact, you were in a bad disposition. And I think you won every argument you ever had. But they threw you out.
You You people didn't second guess me. I know you did. You kidding me? Hey, I want to ask you here today. In the last 4 or 5 years, with some of the decisions somebody made in baseball, if I'd have made those same decisions, you guys would have whipped me. Hey, I wouldn't have had a chance.
Oh my God.
Yeah, any more?
Charlie.
Yeah.
Coach two historically bad teams. Phillies, Indians. You never finished nowhere in second. How did you manage?
I think it. If you go back and look, when I first came to Philly, and go back and look at my minor league records. When I first came to Japan, like got out of the game, and this is a true story. The only thing I wanted to do, I wanted to teach. I wanted to teach hitting, and I also wanted to take batting practice every day. And how did I do it? I had to manage in the minor leagues. But then when I got into it, I really loved teaching, and I loved if I could sit here today and tell you how much my teams hit, and for somebody to say that you need rest, it would definitely hurt my feelings, because I think that repetitions is what develops good hitters. Like, you'll be sitting in the stands and you'll see something. You'll be watching the game, and all of a sudden the hitter, he might hit a ball in the dirt, or might hit a ball over his head, and all of a sudden you say, well, you can't teach that. They do that on the bench. Some guys say, you can't teach that. Yeah, you can. That guy, because he did a lot of reps, taught himself that. Really, I mean, it's a game. It's a game that you got to be really dedicated. Hitting is not easy, and things like that. You got to really work at it. And we used to hit more than any team in baseball. That wasn't even close. We used to score more runs, and also the teams I had in the minor leagues. If you go back and start, we'd start off slow, and by mid-season, at the end, the second half of the season, we always, we usually caught up, and a lot of times we won championships. And that's and what happened was our team grew together. I don't believe in people in the clubhouse. I think that the players should be at them because they mingle with one another and they get to know each other a lot better and things like that. And I don't mind kids in it sometimes coming in there at the right time or something, or a father or something. But at the same time, as far as just letting people randomly come through our clubhouse, no, we don't do that. And in our rules, I don't have very many rules, but at the same time, I want my team to be able to interact in the clubhouse with their teammates, and and you grow together. And when we have that good offense that I talk about, that right there has a big thing to do with it. And then we have the fans that pull for us and cheer for us and get on you when you don't hustle or something like that. That brings you into a good team. And that's what it's all about. It is discipline. If somebody says, hey, if you don't have self-discipline, how can you have plate discipline? Or how can you have discipline as a pitcher? Really, I mean, there are things that you have to have. And, culture is a big part of it, and instruction, whatever. It's togetherness. And that right there is what makes a good team. I was telling Robbie Thompson yesterday, he says a good player will make you a good manager. I said, a whole lot of good players make you a real good manager. That's kind of what it was. And we could, I was just, if we could have beat the Yankees, believe me, oh man. Yeah. Hey, I'd be down there at the Liberty Bell right now. Seriously. Hey. But no, I mean, that's what baseball's about. Baseball's been great, but at the same time, too, the people that's involved to buy the ticket, they need to be talked about more, too. Howard Eskin.
That's all right, there's no cameras.
No cameras off.
Hey,
Next question.
I was. Let me.
Next question.
Howard Eskin is who he is, and what he does, and things that's fine. But when Howard tests my integrity and who I am, like he crosses the line, and he's got to be put back.
What were some of your favorite places to play outside of Philadelphia? Some of your favorite ballparks?
My favorite ballpark to play in was Old Detroit Stadium because it was dark green. It was painted dark green and everything like that. You could see real good. Like it was a backdrop. It seemed like the whole stadium was a backdrop, and right field was short and things like that. And, it was a big ballpark, but down the lines it was short, and I like playing there. The old White Sox ballpark was good. Nowadays, almost all the ballparks really, if I think about it. I like Yankee Stadium. I like Yankee Stadium because they have a spread after the game, and if they don't have food on there you like, they'll go get it.
Not so much a question. I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll finish by saying when I go places in Philadelphia, I cannot believe it. I go to Reading, I go to Lehigh Valley, and my wife would tell you sometimes when I go in and eat breakfast, I'll buy everybody in there a breakfast.
Where you go?
Seriously,
Where you gonna be tomorrow?
but I appreciate everything you do, and just the fact that I can say something or do something to make you laugh. Believe me, I enjoy that. That's what life's all about. Hope you have a good time.